Alright you guys, I'm here with the little familia. Honestly, I could have filmed this video myself, but like I wanted Aaliyah to be in it and I can't hold her and hold my phone at the same time.
Long story short, she was working out and like I always had to warm up. She didn't warm up properly.
I didn't warm up at all actually. I went straight into it. I think I did like a push-up plank position. I think I like tore or injured something. It's really painful. It's kind of a lot.
And only because her arm is messed up in this video to hold her.
That's not all the reason why. But you guys actually had a ton of questions about Aaliyah, about me and Eran, about a lot of things actually. So many of them really personal. Oh, by the way, hold up Aaliyah for everybody. The amount of times that people say they want to actually see her. She just looks so cute. I can't. And if you guys recognize this little outfit, it was actually in the last thrift trip that I did. It's definitely a little bit big, but she'll grow into it because she's getting so chubby. So let's get into some Aaliyah questions. A lot of people are asking what our nicknames are for her. First of all, Eran likes to make up nicknames for kids and they're just like random sounds that come into his head. So what's your nickname for her?
It's Noosh Noosh Sneak.
Noosh Noosh Sneak. I have a lot for her. His sister actually started calling her Lilush because her name's Aaliyah, so she's like Lilush, Lilush, and I love that nickname, so like I started calling her that. His dad keeps calling her Alila.
So he goes Alila.
Alila.
It sounds like my sister's. I feel like he used it for my sister Ariella. He just recycling the nickname.
Someone asked also why did we call her Aaliyah? First of all, a lot of people asked what other names we would have given her if not Aaliyah. And the crazy thing is I really have no other name except for Aaliyah that I like.
We had more of thoughts for boy names. How we were gonna have
some people want us to share them, but obviously
no, we're keeping it to ourselves.
Gonna keep it to ourselves.
Our family members steal our name.
The reason as to why we actually chose Aaliyah, if you guys saw our pregnancy video, you actually know the experience that we had, that we actually got pregnant a few months before her and we ended up having a miscarriage, unfortunately. So I really do feel like in going through all of that, we really just got closer to God in a way. The reason as to why the name Aaliyah just fits so perfectly is because Aaliyah in Hebrew means to rise, and I just felt like, especially since getting pregnant with her, we just rose closer to God.
Yeah, we got closer to God, we got closer to each other, closer to our family.
So that's why we gave her the name Aaliyah and we love it. We think it's very unique. I don't know anybody else with that name.
Yes.
And it definitely matches her really well. Right, Aaliyah? How much has your sleep schedule changed since you've had Aaliyah? It's non-existent.
It's no. The first few weeks was very tough. I think after 1 month she started like fully sleep through the night. Thank God.
Right now we're staying in one room, like the three of us. She senses us in the room. She like wakes up and she thinks it's time to play or time to eat because she like feels us around. Was it love or an arranged marriage?
Yeah, my parents and her parents met up and then they're like, we will give you one goat for your daughter.
Exactly.
So.
Definitely not. At this point, we've said our story many times. If you don't know it, I'm gonna link up my pregnancy video and there I give you guys a little gist of how Eran and I met. We met when I came here on vacation to Miami and his family hosted us, so our parents didn't even get a chance to meet before we met. So we met and I was like, dang, who is this cutie? When did I lose my V card? Yeah, so this is not actually something I think I ever spoke about on my channel.
No.
But both Eran and I actually waited till marriage. Yes, I know a lot of people may say it's very old school of us, but our culture, we are actually Bukharian. So our parents are originally from Uzbekistan, and Bukharian Jews have a lot of like deep-rooted traditions of like, you know,
very traditional.
Very traditional. Just growing up, I just always saw myself as like, I would love it if my experience of that would be saved for my husband. We're each other's first serious relationship, and thank God it just so happened that we got married and we were each other's first.
And you know, nobody pressured us to do it. It was a decision that we decided for ourselves.
Yeah.
We're both pretty into our religion as well, so in our religion this also has a big factor.
Which is another question. A lot of people actually asked if we are religious.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say that we are.
Yeah, like we keep Shabbat, we keep kosher.
Which means once a week, on the 7th day of the week, we actually use no electricity for 24 hours.
No phones, can't turn on light, can't drive cars, like disconnect from the world.
Disconnect from the world, but really connect with the family. We also keep kosher, so we have a lot of restrictions on foods that we eat as well. I've never had pork in my life. We don't mix meat and dairy. Okay, let's move on to a couple of like living house questions. So what will you do with your new renovated house now that you have moved to Florida? You guys, we didn't move to Florida. We are temporarily here because Eran's parents live here. Canada was just closed down for so long. We just like needed an escape. We needed a break. Plus we wanted his parents to finally get to meet Aaliyah, and they've had the best time with her too. So that being said, we do have our tickets back. We're leaving next week and we are really excited to get back home. Somebody asked, where would you prefer to live, here or in Florida? While there are many things we love about Florida, like your family obviously.
Yeah.
We love that we can have a home base back home in Toronto where my family is, but still plan to come here maybe 2 to 3 times a year.
Maybe one day we'll all live in one area.
But then someone asked, how do you enjoy being in a new environment? I feel like this has been so good for us.
Yes.
It's been such a good escape because back home we were just so limited. First of all, even me in terms of content, I wasn't able to film anything. I wasn't able to go anywhere. I just felt so like claustrophobic in the house. And here it's like the sun shines most days. Actually, it's raining a lot, but it's been really refreshing to say the least.
Yes.
Are you planning on having more kids? Baby number 2? When is the next one?
We just had the first one.
We just had the first one, you guys.
I mean, obviously, want to have a good. I don't want to have like 7 years apart from each kid. And, like,
I love the idea of a big family. I mean, we are 3 siblings, me and my sisters, and then they are 4. So 3 to 4 is kind of like our minimum, I would say. That being said, Aaliyah, you are still gonna be very special to us because you're the first. Somebody's asking, do you miss your freedom? I don't know. I don't even like the concept of like, people think that as soon as you have kids, that's it. Life is over.
I mean, I can understand what people are saying. For example, like in this trip, you weren't able to just pick up and go like how we were in the past when we come here. Like,
I don't know. I would never trade anything for this because I just feel like she's giving us so much.
But I think it's a teamwork effort. Like if Haley wants to go out with her girls and all that stuff, like I'm like, all right, I'll be with her. You go have a good time, and I'll manage
That's the important
myself.
thing. You got to balance things out. You got to make sure that it's not all falling on one parent. I mean, obviously, if you're a single parent, I mean, all to you because it's not easy at all. That being said, he's gonna go feed her while I finish up this video.
Yeah, I think you guys saw it firsthand. Thank you guys for having me. Say bye to Aaliyah. She's like, you guys don't pay me enough for this.
What would you be doing if YouTube wasn't around? I thought about it the other day. I actually got into YouTube, I would say 2nd or 3rd year of university. So I did go to school for something. This wasn't in my plans at all. I was actually a marketing and communications major at York University. My dream job, I'll explain to you. Have you guys watched the movie Friends with Benefits? Justin Timberlake in that movie had the job of an art director for GQ magazine. Being the creative director and the art director behind all of that like cool stuff, I don't know, I always really like the creativity behind that kind of stuff. So in my 2nd year, I kind of thought to myself, okay, what can I do to put on my resume to make me different from everybody else? I loved watching YouTube back then, and that's when I thought it was a perfect opportunity to go ahead and start making some videos. I wanted to show future employers that I can edit videos, that I have that personality, that I'm very outgoing. So I started doing that, and then lucky enough, the videos just started doing really well. They started gaining a lot of views and like slowly more and more subscribers. I started getting more into fashion and thrifting content, which was amazing too. And at that point, the ball just got rolling. The next 3 years, I did my best to finish school and do YouTube at the same time. So I did end up graduating. I do have my marketing communications degree. But to answer the question, I would probably be doing something in the marketing field, advertising field, if I wasn't doing YouTube. A lot of the really personal questions were about my first time since giving birth to Aaliyah, like being with my husband. You guys, let me just say that I was probably spotting and bleeding postpartum for almost 4 months. I think it was because at some point I got back on the mini pill, and the mini pill just caused like spotting all the time. It just was not good for me at all. If you don't know what happened in my labor, I actually injured my tailbone from pushing kind of like angled on my back, and I actually tore in the front as well. I got like 5, maybe 6 or 7 stitches. But Eran and I, it's crazy to say, but we had to wait 4 months until I felt like I was healed enough here and there in order for it not to hurt. Postpartum was not easy. Recovery was not easy. Being with him the first time was definitely not easy, but with time we know that it's gonna get better and better. You said in your pregnancy announcement that it took you a while to get pregnant. Do you know why? So I'm gonna be honest, throughout my entire pregnancy or trying to get pregnant journey, I actually tried to keep a very, very open mind. Whenever I wasn't getting pregnant in the first couple of months, I didn't want to take myself to that place of like, what's wrong? There's something wrong with me. Maybe I have to go get checked, whatever. I really for a year did not even think about there being something wrong. I just thought it's just not time yet. It's just not time yet. And then at some point, I think after we had our first miscarriage, that's when I was already kind of like getting nervous, thinking maybe something is wrong. So after we had our first miscarriage, I was waiting to get my period again, and then I headed on over to the doctor and I started doing some tests. At that point, he checked all my hormone levels. He said that everything looks good, my ovaries look good, everything looked fine, and it just really just wasn't happening because it just wasn't happening. So the good thing is after I had my miscarriage, we literally got pregnant 2 months later, which is such a blessing because it was really, really hard 2 months before that. So to answer the question, logically, no, I don't know why I wasn't getting pregnant, but I really think that God's timing and God's plan is divine in the sense that when he wants it to happen, it will happen. And that's really how I felt like it was with us. What was childbirth like? Any advice? I'm currently pregnant with my first. I actually don't want to go into my entire childbirth story, but I actually have a whole video talking about my labor story, my labor experience, experience. If you want to know more about my experience, like whether I took a epidural or I didn't, how was my labor like, what the pain was like, all that kind of stuff, you can check it out in that video. I'll end it with this question: do you plan on collaborating soon? I'm so excited to get back home, you guys. My friends have all been thrifting in Toronto. It's giving me such FOMO because even though I'm thrifting here, I miss thrifting with them. So I'm definitely going to be collaborating with my girlfriends back home, Sarah Dunk, Rach Speed. And I want you guys to let me know who you think I should collaborate with, whether back home or just channels you love in general. Let me know down below. Who knows, we have lots of travel plans in the future and maybe we can make it happen. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was definitely more of a mellow, chill out video, but I was not capable of a lot. So hopefully you guys still enjoyed it. If you do have any more questions, leave them down below and I'll actually just respond to you through the comments. And subscribe down below if you haven't already to join the amazing family. I love you guys so much. Be sure to follow me on Instagram to see us out and about here in Florida. And with all that, I can't wait to see you in my next one. Love you.